Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm John Smalley, a librarian with San Francisco Public Library's General Collections and Humanities Center. While we're waiting for everyone to arrive, I'm going to share a few announcements about upcoming literary events and some information about free COVID tests. And then I'm going to turn the microphone over to the director and the creator of the Fresh Play Sunday Reading Series, Kayla Minton Kaufman. So I'm going to share my screen with you. This month, San Francisco and our library celebrate Chanel Miller's best-selling memoir, Know My Name. Chanel Miller is an artist as well as an author, and she currently has an exhibit up at the Asian Art Museum, which is next door to the San Francisco Public Library's main library. She'll also be giving an author's talk in March. The San Francisco Public Library is also celebrating Namwali Serpell's acclaimed novel, Old Drift, which is a fantastic imagining of Zambian history, past and future. On Tuesday, January 19th, SFPL hosts a panel of distinguished Black crime writers who will be discussing the history and future of the genre. Later this week on Thursday, January 21st, our library is hosting the poet and internationally recognized filmmaker Lynn Sachs, who will be leading a two-part combination poetry reading, film screening, and poetry writing workshop. Lynn currently has a 20-film retrospective at the Museum of the Moving Image in New York. And it's rumored we will have a special guest, the artist Anne Hamilton. This Saturday, January 23rd, our library is celebrating the life of the Puerto Rican poet and also co-founder of the Nuyorican Cafe in New York, Nuyorican Poets Cafe, Miguel Algarin. The Nuyorican Cafe is famous for presenting poetry, especially slam poetry. It's also famous for its theater productions, for which it won an Obie Award, and musical performances. So at this event, we are expecting authors, artists, and friends of Miguel's family. They'll all be participating. So we hope you can join us. You have probably heard of SFPL To Go, but if you haven't, the library is once again making it possible to borrow books, CDs, DVDs, even magazines. It's a curbside service, which means you can pick up or return items to the main library or one of the 9 branches that are open, but you'll need to reserve materials over the phone or computer before you show up. Lastly, as you all know, we're still in the midst of a raging pandemic, so please remember to wear your masks when you're out and about. And the city of San Francisco offers free COVID tests to anyone who lives or works in San Francisco. For more information, go to the website sf.gov/citytestsf. I'll put that information in the chat. So now, without further ado, I'd like to turn the microphone over to the director and also the creator of the Fresh Play Sunday Reading Series, Kayla Minton Kaufman.
Thanks so much, John. So excited to be here. Hi, Zoom friends and YouTube Live friends. I'm really excited to be bringing this back. We, back in the olden days, used to do this live and in the library, which was so lovely, but it's also so lovely that we get to do it virtually with all of you here. So basically, we're just going to dive right in. The program is we're going to be reading a really fabulous new play. And then afterwards, we will host a little Q&A where the playwright and actors will be there. So first of all, if everybody could I think everybody has this happening right now, but just making sure that your video and audio are both turned off. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of Zoom. And keeping those off throughout the presentation, but then for the Q&A, we would love to have you join us. And also for your best viewing experience, I would recommend that you go up to the top bar under zoom.us, click Preferences, go to Video, and then click the checkbox that says Hide Non-Video Participants. So again, that's going to your bar at the top, clicking the zoom.us, going to Video, and clicking the checkbox for Hide Non-Video Participants. That's going to be the most fun for you and for us, and it'll help you focus on who is actually speaking instead of having to scroll through the gallery and trying to figure out who you're supposed to be looking at. So that is about it, I think. So thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to dive right into a new play called Straight Nonsense by Lindsay K. Ford.
Oh, God, these brownies are like sex.
Judith, my dear, you are bordering on the obscene. Do give it a rest.
Now, pardon my forwardness, there has been a considerable amount of time since I have been given the privilege of creating culinary art for the annual PTA bake sale, and I'll be gosh darn if I don't let myself enjoy it. So if you please, Ellen, do let me have my fun.
I just don't see what's so exceptional about baked goods.
Why, the texture, the just right amount of spongy moistness just necessary to make a red velvet tart truly velvety. I simply don't have time to worry about my crumbling marriage in the face of such a delectable treat.
Sorry, what?
Like I said, this simply scrumptious texture adds such a...
Say these brownies help you forget about your marriage?
Well, yes.
Well, why didn't you say so, Judith dear?
Well, oh my, I am not sure I like the sound of your tone.
Spread the wealth, dear Judith. I simply must know what you mean by that spongy texture.
Ellen, darling, you do know that these brownies are for the bake sale.
Surely the bake sale can spare 5 or 6.
There's only 8 in the bunch.
All the more to increase the value of the remaining 2.
Well, now I am certain I don't like your tone. Now, Ellen.
Judith, I fear you're beginning to sound quite selfish. Please to remember what we learned in Pastor Sean's sermon on Sunday.
That is downright rotten of you, using the Lord's name to justify your senseless greed.
Did the good Lord not spread his wealth?
I'm certain you wouldn't know, as I'm quite sure I didn't see you in Mass this Sunday.
How dare you?
Furthermore, Pastor Sean wasn't even preaching. It was Pastor James.
Give me those brownies.
Stay away from my baked goods. Brownies won't save your disaster of a marriage, Ellen. I've heard all the stories.
So you do know. Everyone knows I'm ruined.
Oh, Ellen.
I didn't mean to miss Mass this week. I was merely distraught. You understand.
Oh, Ellen, there's nothing to be done. Not even baked goods can prevent your husband's infidelity. Or mine.
Maybe not, but a shorter hemline might.
Sorry, I gotta interject. It feels irresponsible not to. I get that you've got this whole brownie gal pal housewife thing going, and it's very cute, and I get it, love it, super cute, but did you just say your husband was cheating on you? Am I ballparking this?
Heavens.
Because I'm not trying to be like a dick, but to me, that's kind of bigger than this PTA brownie thing. I don't know. This is all deeply bizarre. I'm just trying to be a good person. I kind of just been hearing this and I don't know.
No. Quite all right. What I see here is a young person in need of guidance.
I feel like that's a misread of the situation.
My dear, as you have so deftly observed, marriage is quite a challenging ordeal. One can't simply take issue with every dalliance, that is to say, every stray Instagram DM of one's husband.
I mean, yes, you can. Oh my God, is this a lesbian moment? Oh my God, they prepared me for this, but I really thought they were kidding. Oh my God, this is the situation.
Excuse me?
And like, her name is Ellen too. What is that?
Excuse me?
Like, Ellen,
The
the worst lesbian.
And you...
War criminal Ellen.
What?
Okay. Here's the deal. I'm here to be your guiding lesbian.
Pourquoi?
Wow. Moving right along. I am a lesbian, which, as we all know, means I'm God's favorite. And as such, I'm here to impart profound truths upon you because you are exhibiting what dykes like me like to call hetero nonsense.
What?
Yes, I'm afraid so. But you're in good hands now. I've never once transgressed. I mean, well, I did give a man a hand job once, but I was like 16 and he was gross and I'm gay now, so free of that.
The audacity!
You guys are good with gays though, right? Because I heard some Jesus talk earlier, so I just want to, yeah, we're good. Okay, all right. Listen, I think I can wrap this up pretty quickly, so let me just, ooh, grab it. Now tell me, Ellen, have either of you ever had a conversation with your husbands about your crumbling marriages?
Well, I hardly think that's the point.
And have you discussed this with your friends?
My friends are of the opinion that women should be seen and not heard.
Uh-huh. Troubling. Uh-huh.
I just feel that there are some things that a woman should not point out. It's not flattering.
Not to worry. I think I can solve everything. So.
Yo, are there breeders in here?
I got this one, Melanie.
Breeders?
Yeah, like what the straights are always doing. Breeding and shit? No? No. Sorry. I see that you're still in a work in progress. Bachelor fan?
Bachelorette.
Close. Hey, can I get one of these or what?
Actually, if you don't mind, I was hoping to save some of these for a,
Just go for it.
No!
It's for a good cause.
Lesbianism's a good cause.
I feel like we're getting a bit sidetracked.
Relax. You are in good hands. She is a pro at setting straight people straight. Although I've never given a man a hand job.
I was 16.
A man job, Ness.
Can we move on?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judith.
Ellen, I feel that there's a very simple prognosis here. You worry too much about male opinion. Men have treated you like shit your whole life, and you've become resigned to it. And the problem is so epidemic that all your other lady friends have resigned themselves to it. And it all just becomes this gross breeder cycle from which you must find a way to free yourself. Ask for more. You deserve it.
She's right.
Wow, I guess I never thought of it that way.
In simple terms, your friends are just too straight to see the issue.
If I interject,
As a matter of fact, let's talk about you, sweet pea. What's your damage? A man's involved, gotta have some damage.
I am sure I do not know what you are talking about.
Do you ever wear matching Halloween costumes with troubling implications? Like, he's the plug and you're the outlet.
Ooh, or he's Hugh Hefner and you're a Playboy bunny. Ugh.
Would he wear cargo shorts to your kid's bar mitzvah? Communion.
Does he say cryptic things about how women are more emotional?
Does he refer to you as his ball and chain?
Does he act like marriage is an evil trap that you somehow duped him into despite his being the one to buy the actual ring and propose? Ugh,
Does
figure.
he wear cargo shorts?
Oh,
Damn it, women, time is of the essence.
Hi, sorry. Is this the right room? I'm looking for Judith Parker.
No.
Hey, this is my straighty and I am on this.
You can't have both.
We've each got one. The Lesbian Manifesto specifically states,
Is there someone in charge that we can talk to? Some kind of supervising officer?
We delegate. Oof. You, Judith? I could tell. I'm getting some dark vibes over here. How familiar are you with crystal energy readings?
Felicity, we've got this.
Do you ever feel unlucky, underappreciated? Is it possible you have a yard in your astrological chart?
what is a yod?
Leftover karmic energy determined by configuration between at least 3 sextile points in your horoscope. I see it a lot with Jupiter's in Capricorn for some reason.
Oh, I'm a Capricorn. Sorry, that was the first thing I've understood all afternoon.
Do you know your moon sign?
Oh my God.
What is she talking about?
Oh, she's an art hoe? It's a thing.
Did we date?
Do you know when you were born?
What she needs to know is that she is falling into a patriarchal trap of behavior.
IKEA, right? Did we meet in the IKEA once in the succulents aisle?
Yeah. You asked me about Hawaii.
Yeah!
Wow. You know, I love Hawaii.
No shit.
We are supposed to be assisting the straights.
Different than hetero nonsense.
This is a whole other type of nonsense.
So, how many cats do you have?
Say more about stuff, how I deserve better.
You do.
Are we losing the plot here? What about me? I deserve better too.
You do.
I deserve a fucking brownie.
Yeah, get it, Judith.
Oh, but you said they were for the PTA meeting.
They are for the lesbians, apparently.
Hey, sorry. Judith and Ellen, right? Ellen, that's funny. Are these heads taken?
Enough.
Oh, awkward. We did used to date.
Felicity.
Danielle.
I have never seen such.
Hi, I'm looking for.
No.
Do you guys validate? Also, I'm here to tell you, dump your man.
I do tarot card readings.
That's my thing.
No. We do not need any more lesbians to offer their input. Everybody out.
Oh, sorry. I'm not here to contribute. I just heard something about brownies for lesbians and assumed they were edibles, so.
They're not.
I said out.
Why does no one care about the PTA meeting?
Here. This will help rid your home of negative energy. It also releases stress and purifies the air. It's also a dildo, so there's that.
All honesty,
Oh, girl, you do not even have to tell me. You're straight, I know.
Does he even eat you out?
You know, I also own some rose quartz.
Oh, please, don't we all?
I own lots of things.
Do you now?
And who are you exactly?
Oh my god, I hate lesbians.
What's your favorite song off of Wasteland Baby?
Dinner and diatribes.
No way.
What's your sun and moon rising?
I was just about to ask her that.
Who the hell is this?
Oh my God, get over it, Danny.
Get over what? We had a Subaru together, which you have still not paid off.
Oh, Leo, double Libra.
The breeders! We have abandoned the breeders!
Does anyone have a nail clipper? My Uber driver didn't.
Your Uber driver?
Right? 4 stars at best. Ugh.
I have to yell one more. Oh, I've got one in my backpack.
Oh, thanks. Are you a Virgo?
What on earth is I?
All right, ladies, pack it up.
God damn it!
You're detecting far too much lesbian activity in here. You know the rules. 1 psych per dyke.
I knew this was going to happen.
Just renewed my paperwork.
Like 3 heteros short of a straight.
Enough! I'm sure I don't have to tell you ladies what goes wrong if this continues. The lesbian density in this is far too high in the local area, and it's threatening to collapse into singularity. So let's move.
Let's go, lesbians, up and at 'em. Move, move, move. Get out. Come on. Come on. Get out of here. Let's go.
And then there were none. Well, I hope you learned a valuable lesson, ladies. No? All that and no one even really did it. Well, not that you asked for it, but if you want my 2 cents, neither of you should care so much.
What?
You're a man problem. That's why we're all here, right? I'm just saying, everybody has an opinion, but you shouldn't care so much what other people think. What's important is what you want.
I don't even know how to know what I want. So what do I do if I don't know?
Well, that I can't tell you, but if you want something else, you have to use your words. I feel like breeders have all these weird rules and they're honestly fake and you don't have to follow any of them. You just need a new perspective.
What if I don't know how to ask?
Figure out a way. There are no rules. There's just words. Tell cargo shorts to start taking better care of you. Go to therapy. Stop putting up with shit and get over yourself. You have the power to get what you want, but you gotta use your words. No one can do that for you.
I just don't want to be needy.
Who gives a fuck? We're lesbians. We're all needy. God, these edibles are trash.
They're not even.
Well, that happened.
Certainly did. So, I guess your brownies were a hit.
You know what? I'm keeping it.
That's the end, everybody. Can I have all my cast members please come back on video and rename yourself to your real name? Okay, so that was Straight Nonsense by Lindsay K. Ford. And we are now doing a short little Q&A, but we're going to begin by doing intros with everybody, including the actors and playwright, and then we will take your questions. And so if you want to start shooting them out into the chat, either on the YouTube or the Zoom, we will be keeping our eyes on both of those. So to start off, my name is Kayla. I read for Danielle and Officer 2, and I use she, her pronouns. And my fun queer fact is I really love Astro Poets on Twitter. I think they're great. Lindsay, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Hello, hello. I'm Lindsay. I'm the playwright. My pronouns are she, her. And my fun queer fact is that I also have a deck of tarot cards, and I keep them in this very artsy little box that my roommates, who are all also lesbians, got me for Christmas. So,
Lindsay, you're muted, but we can just popcorn to anyone.
I will shoot that to Amanda.
Hi, I am Amanda Bailey. I use she, her pronouns. And my fun queer fact is that I believe Aubrey Plaza's character in The Happiest Season deserved way more. Popcorn Jackie.
Hi, I am Jack. My pronouns are they and them. My fun queer fact is that I'm currently cleansing a fresh deck of tarot cards, and I plan on doing several readings today. And I'll popcorn it to Raquel.
Hi everyone, my name is Raquel, and I'm queer, but I don't have a fun fact. I'll send that to Eilette.
Hi, I'm Ayelet Shrek. I use they, them pronouns, but really anything non-binary is fine by me. Pick your favorite. And I played Ness in our wonderful production. And my fun queer fact is that the book I chose to be reading as per stage direction is a book of plays by Maria Irene Fornes, who is the best lesbian and a really brilliant playwright who I love very much. And on to Lee May.
Hi there, I'm Lee Ling Ao. I played Felicity in Official 1. I use she, her pronouns, and my fun gay fact is this is the first play I've played a gay person in, so that's kind of fun. I'll hand back to Kayla.
Okay, yeah, I think a couple of our other actors had to dip, so I am seeing that we have one question in the chat, and the question is, how much rehearsal time did the cast have? So I will just hop on that real quick to just talk about the process and what we do with Fresh Play Sunday. So basically the thought behind it is to give a time for development and hearing aloud of new pieces. And so Lindsay basically had this already finished. There was not a lot of development. It was more just sorting out a couple lines and testing out jokes and things like that. And so for this one, I've done many a workshop series. For some scripts for this one, we did one workshop, one rehearsal, and this. So the rehearsal process was very short because the point is more to give Lindsay, the playwright, the opportunity to hear it aloud, which is something that playwrights don't often get in the process and is really crucial because the whole point of a play is to have it read aloud. So yeah, that's that. What was the biggest challenge for working with Zoom and how did you problem solve? Anyone want to weigh in on our Zoom experience? Especially anyone who was in any of the in-person readings to compare and contrast?
I felt like one of my biggest issues was figuring out where the videos go on the screen. And also it's very different than the in-person readings because you got to kind of feel the energy of the audience as well as your like co-readers. So that was really cool. But I think it's just like technical issues of being able to see like, where do the faces go and where do the scripts go? Yeah.
And I think we just had a technical issue that one of our actors kind of dropped off video for a little bit. So, you just have to kind of roll with it. And sometimes the sound drops out and sometimes people forget to put themselves off mute and all those fun things that you're talking to yourself and like, oh, I just delivered my line. Do I do it again? Who caught that? Exactly. So yeah. all those little glitches, but yeah, it's a learning curve.
I think also for a comedy like this, you know, you want that really fast pace. You want some of that overlap, right? There are moments in the script where it's written in like we overlap a little, and that is much more difficult to do on Zoom than it is in real life, when you can kind of sense the energy of your fellow actors and, you know, and get the timing right. So timing, I think, would be the hardest thing for me as an actor on Zoom.
For me, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, yet another Zoom thing. For me, was really tough is like the large portions of the script where, like, if you don't have a line and you're still on quote unquote on stage, and like finding the like things to do facially and like what makes sense, and you really have to visualize. It's like, hey, like they're walking out, I'm gonna turn. Like it's a strange experience. I guess what I would imagine would be similar to, you know, actors working with green screen. Like there's a dragon there, there's not really a dragon there, but you're petting a dragon. Like that's how it feels.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was saying in agreement to that, and what Ayala said, it's sometimes hard to know where to place your fellow actors, so that because everyone's placed differently on everyone's screens. So if I'm looking over here, to me I'm looking at Kayla, but to you it might look like I'm looking at someone else, and then I'm like, okay, who do I place who's just spoken to me? So it's kind of a mixture between like camera acting and theatre acting. So
Great. Okay, we have another question from my mom. Hi, Mom. Really digging deep here. Who made the brownies? I think it was Ellen. Is that right? No, it's Judith. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Wow. Okay.
Yes. I mean, these are chocolate graham crackers, so, you know, little theater magic for you.
Yes, the theater magic of, this brownie is so tasty. You know, it's a little bit harder to stretch your imagination when you're on Zoom than it is when you're in person, but thank you for going on that brownie journey with us. Another question, when will the next SFPL play be? Wow, I feel like I planted that. I swear I didn't, but I was gonna say that later. It is March 21st, and I will remind you of that again before we sign off. Okay, wow. Thank you everyone for actually sending questions. I feel like Q&A is sometimes you just start sitting around and you're like, all right, no questions, goodbye. Oh, Ayala already answered this question, but do you want to just answer for everybody else who might be wondering the same?
Sure. So the name of the playwright I referenced is Maria Irene Fornes. Brilliant Cuban-American queer playwright who passed away a few years ago and had a very amazing career as a director, playwright, and teacher. Super, super wonderful. Should be so much more in the canon than she is. It's fine.
There was also a really fabulous documentary released about her. Do you remember what it was called?
It's called The Rest I Make Up. It's amazing.
Great watch.
Incredible.
Made me cry. I think anything that makes me cry is a great watch.
And I think if you have a library membership, you can watch it for free on Canopy. Aha, if you sign in with your library card.
The world opens up when you're involved with your local library, am I right? Lindsay, what surprised you from hearing this read out loud?
That's a good question. I would say it's kind of one of those weird things where I wouldn't say that I necessarily based all these characters on the lesbians that are always around me, but I would say that I took like little pieces from everybody. So it's kind of funny because as a playwright, you have sort of an idea of how you think it'll go, but then when you hear actors doing it, you're like, oh, that's even funnier than what I thought of, or like that's so different than what I thought. But like 10 out of 10, highly recommend having other people read your work because it's so awesome, and everyone did a really great job, so I'm very, very pleased.
We're all super grateful to have been able to work on this with you. It's so fun. Which I think kind of ties into a question that I'm seeing pop up on YouTube. which is how often have each of you been doing Zoom plays since COVID started? Which we briefly touched on before we went live by cringing at each other. Does anyone wanna take that question on, or should we all just do a brief weigh in on that?
I mean, I'll weigh in. I haven't done many. I don't know. It's tough. It's a really tough medium to jump into. I've done, I think, 3, and some went better than others. I think the bigger of a cast you have, the more complicated it gets, and the more like things you introduce, like backgrounds and costume changes, it gets overwhelming, and you don't get the same, I think, like emotional payoff sometimes as an actor. I mean, it's a really great way to keep your skills sharp, but it can be really tough and kind of, I think, I don't know, if it doesn't go the way you want it to, it can be really like discouraging, but this went so great. This was such an amazing, this was like the perfect example of how a Zoom play reading should go, at least in my opinion.
Me, for my part, I've probably done about 3 or 4. I've read script reading for a screenplay as well. Read some things with just friends, just to hear it out loud and just to play. But yeah, I've got another one with a different company in February, and once again short plays and a few long plays. So it's a really tricky medium. Some people kind of worry about what your background looks like, what you're wearing, where you're placing each character when you're talking to them, and some are just for fun. And once again, I agree, Amanda. It's such a tricky medium to work in, and I think it's a strange relationship with the audience because we obviously can't see you, we can't hear you, we don't know whether the joke is paying off, whether you can't pause for laughs because there are no laughs. So you're just kind of working in this bubble, and I think it is a strange dynamic with the audience because for you, if we're delivering to camera, then it feels as if we're talking directly to you, as if you're in the scene with us, and then when you're viewing it as an audience member, it just kind of is a little bit disorientating because you're like, hang on, this feels really personal, and yet at the same time, I don't feel the warmth of the audience in the room. So there's that camaraderie. You kind of lose that energy. So yeah, it's tricky. We're doing our best, and yeah, I'm going to pass to someone else.
I find that I've been kind of mourning a little bit about like not being able to do plays in person. And so I feel like a part of me is like, oh, I don't want to do Zoom because then it's like, it's not what it used to be. But then as soon as you're in like a space where you see everyone as passionate and as like kind of with you, it's like, okay, this definitely heals the wound a little bit. I also find it really weird to see my own face because I'm used to just acting to an audience or to my like fellow cast members, but like to see my own face, I'm like, oh, this is too much perception. So it changes things a little bit and makes it feel like a different art form almost. But at the same time, like I would rather have a Zoom play than no plays at all. Like I just miss it so much.
Yeah, to build on that, this is my first time like acting on Zoom. We did some readings earlier in the pandemic, just actually with some of the people here too, just for fun, just like getting together and reading plays. And I've done some directing on Zoom, which actually I find much more comfortable because I don't have to look at myself, right? There's something so weird. As an actor, part of my training has been to not think about every detail of my face and where, like to rather have it be about energy and where I'm sending energy and the connections I have between people instead of like, what does my angle of my face look like, right? I have no film training. Like this feels much more film-like in that way. But it is still such a delight to be in a room of people who love theater. Like that is just, there's something, even a virtual room, there's something about that that I think is really helpful and wonderful. And also, Kayla and I have been working on writing a play for Zoom, slowly, very slowly. But that has been because it's a different art form, because it's not quite theater and it's not quite film. It's something weird and in between. So we've been sort of thinking about that form and how maybe there's a story that can be told with this form, you know, created for this form.
Has anyone else not talked about your Zoom experience? No? Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, I about the same experience. I think it's well, actually, fun fact, I really never act. This was a little unexpected. We had an actor who was not able to be a part of this at the last minute, and so I jumped in. So it's weird for me to act on Zoom, but it's also just weird for me to act full stop. I also did actually have the opportunity to direct with Theater Rhinoceros with Jack and Lindsay, which was super fun, and have been able to do some, readings with friends. But I think it kind of tapered. At the beginning, we were all like, let's read plays. And then as time went on, we were just like, oh, we just miss theater so much. And it kind of like reminds you of how much you miss theater. But I feel like we've kind of come full circle to a place where we're like, okay, we can see it on the horizon. Like there is the other side of the tunnel. It's there somewhere. So I don't know. There still is just so much joy, even if it's not physically together, to be in a virtual room with other creatives that I love and respect. And so grateful for this. Another question. Hi, it's so cool to see a queer play. Ah, yes, I agree. To Lindsay. I'm not sure. Lindsay, are you still there? I think Lindsay's still there. Yes. Lindsay, were there any inciting experience or experiences that inspired you to write this play?
I wrote this play actually a couple of years ago when I was in college. And I mostly wrote it because I think that lesbians are hysterical. And I also think they're a very, very untapped resource in the field of comedy, because lesbians are vile creatures and I love them so much. So in a way, I was kind of writing in to like fill a void that I feel like has happened in terms of representation. But I also was like, I want to write something really funny that I don't think anyone's done before. I was also really watching like a lot of Always Sunny in Philadelphia at the time, so I have to say it probably informed the rudeness of all of these characters. But anyway, that's all I got for you.
I think this other question I'm also going to shoot at you. What is the actual setting of the play?
It is in the library. Like the two housewives are like preparing these brownies for a PTA meeting that's meeting in the library, and Ness is just reading a book and is like, oh, so we're gonna let that go because yeah.
Wow, so much library representation. You love to see it. Okay, another question. Was this a one-act play that's part of a larger work? I'm curious about the relationships of the characters.
This is not part of a larger work, but I am kind of thinking about writing like a series of short plays. Not necessarily about these characters, but maybe of just kind of various situations that I think are specifically happen to like queer women that a lot of people don't experience. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I don't know. I actually hadn't thought about applying this to that, but hey, maybe so. Maybe we'll get all the lore of all the all the characters.
I think what's so fun about Lindsay's writing is that we have some characters who literally have like 5 lines, but they are so interconnected. Queers in the audience, you know what I'm talking about. The queer world is just so interconnected. And you'll realize that you're dating somebody who like your ex from, high school realized that they, came out to for whatever. Anyway, it's just a very lots of funny connections. I think that is very beautifully represented in this play because they are all so interconnected, even when you only get them for a brief minute, which I think is so delightful. And I think, unless last call for any questions. or actors, if you have any last words that you want to express to our audiences. No, great, okay.
Actually, one more. I will. I was just say, keep supporting your artists, and come to readings, and it's all really appreciated. And if you can, donate to your library or to the theatre organisation, or just whatever, then yeah. And stay safe out there. Oh my God, yeah. And hope to see you in the real world.
Yeah, a couple related shout outs. There's actually, if you get the SF Chronicle, today's Sunday paper, I literally just read before this, has a section about imagining the arts under the new administration. I think that's a fascinating read, I think for artists and non-artists alike, to just kind of imagine what it could be like if we did something crazy like funded the arts. Also, some other thoughts, TBA has a Theater Bay Area has a fund for artists who are struggling during this time. That's a great place to donate. They are supporting a lot of artists during this time with emergency grants. Yeah, to just reiterate what Lee Lang said, like, if there's any way that you can support your local artists or your local arts organizations, a lot are really struggling to make it through to the other side, and we've already lost a lot of them. So if you happen to have an extra quarter in your pocket, there's a good place to put it. Amanda, I think you were gonna jump in and say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you everybody for coming to support us. It's so nice. I mean, I was not expecting so many audience members. That's awesome.
Also, I want to thank everybody for taking on this insane, ridiculous play and making it so much funnier and so much cooler. I'm so grateful. Thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for being a part of it. Great job.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, actors. Thank you, audience. Again, on March 21st, there's going to be another round of this, and would love to have you join us again, and probably virtually again, but one day maybe we'll meander our way back into the library. But until then, keep checking out books. You can do that online. There's so many online books I have ravenously devoured, and it's a great time. Support your library, support your artists, stay safe, wear a mask. You know who I'm talking to. But anyway, you all are great, and I appreciate you all joining.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Come back on the 21st.